5, 4, 3, 2, 1. CTS PC P EP
6, I think.
26.
If my math's
We're
right, which is probably not right.
Over halfway to episode 50
On the Pop Culture Podcast.
on the Pop Culture Podcast.
We're
on our
almost
regular
to-
podcast,
We're past episode 50.
what are we?
No, we're almost to episode 50. I think the last one was just 46.
Really?
Yeah.
We're
Yep.
only 20 ahead?
Yeah, the numbering's a little iffy. But we're just going to go
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
kind of, I was going to say, that's kind of
The
weird.
the numbers are a little scuffed, but we'll
On
we'll,
episode 100 of the podcast, the regular CTS podcast, it's going to be a good time. We're going to do extra long episode, and we're going to celebrate the downfall of Andrew Cuomo.
That was the name of the last episode of or not the last
The
one. when this
downfall of
comes-
Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
That's so
2
good.
episodes
That's
ago,
like
I guess.
Shakespearean.
The
Look at
downfall
you.
of Andrew Cuomo.
Quick plug for our other podcast.
Yep, go
If
check
anyone
that out.
listens to this exclusively,
We
we're going
got
to be...
a really good interview coming out. That
Henry has a really good interview coming out because he deliberately chose an obscure time to conduct the podcast that I couldn't make.
not
so
my choice.
He decided to move forward with it anyway, which shows you the sort of person I'm working with here.
It's a good one. Just check it out.
Shows you the operation that's being run by our producer
Okay.
and editor
And
and recorder
yeah,
and host. I just come here and talk.
multi-hyphenated.
To be fair, I have the best takes, so I guess I make up for it in hot takes. All right. Besides the point, we had a big week this week.
Pretty big week.
So, here's the deal. Henry got I'm good to talk about this as long as no spoilers, right? I can just go
I
ahead.
don't think we have to.
Henry got why is that not on my ear? Okay. Henry got exclusive early.
Exclusive is a little bit of a like.
Just let me explain the story and then you can interject
Okay,
as much as you
okay.
like. Henry got exclusive early showing tickets for free to Shang-Chi. All right. We saw it 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks earlier.
It doesn't
then
come out
it's
until
scheduled
September
release.
3rd.
And it was a banger.
Like, because I mean, you probably saw this too, Jace, but all the like press reaction coming out of the premiere, everyone was like, "This movie's amazing! Like, it's so good!" Like, a ton of people were saying top 5 MCU, like, just loved it. And my first thought on that was, it's probably good.
Before seeing it.
Before seeing it, yeah, it's probably good, but I feel like they react like that to a lot of premieres, right? All of a sudden it's like, and you see the reviews on the trailers, it's like, oh, a masterpiece, like my favorite new superhero or whatever, and you're like, I don't know if it's gonna live up to that, and they usually don't quite. Shang-Chi 100% did.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was, and I don't want to hype it up too much, but I thought it was the best origin story we've seen for a superhero since, in my opinion, Iron Man 1.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, and we technically could talk about spoilers, but we're going to hold off until next week in case.
Yeah.
Because people probably, when this comes out, won't have had the opportunity to see it, but.
Well, it's not, I think we're fine talking about this. It's not so traditionally Marvel. Like, one of my criticisms of early on in Falcon and the Winter Soldier was that it felt so much like a Marvel movie that it like almost wasn't fun to watch. It just felt like there was really nothing original. Like WandaVision, there's some really original ideas, very original storyboarding. I think that, and even with Loki, it felt, like traditional Marvel. I thought Loki was amazing, but it felt like traditional Marvel. This is traditional Marvel with so many other new, innovative ideas that I think it's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like you're not even watching someone in the Marvel universe. It's like, and it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I don't want to say hilarious, but there were some parts that were genuinely hilarious.
Yeah, it was a good combination of everything. Like, I think some Marvel movies get caught in the trap where they undercut any tension that there is with like a joke or anything. And this movie, while being extremely funny, I think did a good job of avoiding that and making sure that moments that were supposed to be serious landed, moments that were supposed to be funny were super funny. All the actors were really good. Simu Liu as as Shang-Chi was great. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was the best since Iron Man. The only other one that was up there for me was Doctor Strange, just because he's my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
But I mean, Shang-Chi is one of my favorites now.
Yeah, I would like very close if I had to rank it in Marvel movies, and I don't know if you will agree with me, Jace, but I would put it close to the top 5, which is like pretty crazy.
Oh, it's for sure in my top 5. What's your top 5?
Like, so probably the first Avengers, Winter Soldier, Infinity War, then probably this and Iron Man, or probably round out my top 5. Doctor Strange is close up there, but that'd probably displace Iron Man because I don't have that much of an affinity towards the first Iron Man.
I think I would go Infinity War, Iron Man, probably Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi. Those two are a mix-up, and then I don't know.
Yeah, so like close to cracking the top 3 even.
Yeah. No, it was really good. It was definitely the best Marvel movie that we've seen since Infinity War.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is crazy to think about. Kind of.
Like it beats out Endgame, the culmination of like all the 23 movies.
This or Loki?
This.
Ooh.
It's tough because they're different, right? Like they're in the sense that Loki's like this big long, like came out over multiple weeks. As if I was sitting down to watch something all at once, I'd say this, probably over Loki.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree with that. Yeah, I liked it a lot. We had some interesting experiences at the theater. I think that whole day is gonna be kind of unforgettable.
Yep, definitely. Because
just
weird
some
things
weird things
going on.
Things that no one would expect.
We got into the movie. It was great. I would recommend when everyone gets to go see it, to see it on as big a screen as possible. Like if you can do IMAX, do that because it's definitely worth it. As big a screen as possible. Don't wait for it to like come out on when it'll be on Disney Plus in like 2 months.
No,
I would go see it in the movie theater. I would go see it early too because people will react and they'll like really enjoy it. So it's a good viewing experience in the theater.
I don't think anyone's gonna react how our theater reacted.
Yeah, but our theater was a little crazy.
There were people that drove from like Nevada, Idaho to go to see this movie.
Yeah,
which
so should tell you, very good movie.
Yeah, I mean they didn't know that though.
That's true, but I don't think they regretted it.
Oh, for sure they didn't. I mean, there is the only annoying part was the guy behind us that was like trying to initiate clapping at the wrong time.
That's definitely something that
he was the only
happen.
one.
You get the like,
isn't that weird?
2 claps that
yeah,
and then it like fizzles out because nobody else decides to clap. Yeah, that was pretty funny. There's there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. Definitely stick around for those. Watch those.
People are like hyping up the last credit scene, like the end credit scene.
Really?
You know that video I sent you?
That's funny.
And it's like apparently
Shang-Chi.
No.
That's the mid-credit scene. Yeah, that's funny. People are speculating about what it is and just sitting here with the knowledge that we've seen it already.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Yep. So definitely, I would highly recommend going to see it.
All right, let's talk about Bad Batch season finale. Henry put the wrong title on the last week's episode.
Ooh, sort of. It was a 2-part finale.
Yeah.
So we talked about part 1.
Little
of the finale.
misleading, though. Just a little.
Yeah, we need a little bit of clickbait.
So let's talk about what happened. Last time I think I explained it, so I'll let you explain it this week.
So we've got the base at the end of the last episode. It was getting destroyed. They were shooting and whatever. So we pick up with the Bad Batch. They're trying to escape. They run into like the clone chambers, the like cloning chambers where the Bad Batch and Omega were made. And they think they can get out through like the tunnel they came in through and find out that they can't because it's like sealed off. So they hop in the cloning chambers and are like to go up, and they need to like float through all the debris in the water. We get the little robot. I don't remember the robot's name. Is it Tech?
That's the clone's
That's
name.
the clone.
Shoot.
Easy.
Something like that.
Yeah, whatever the little robot's name that's friends with Omega. His battery's dying, and so he's pushing him up. His battery dies. Omega jumps out of the pod to save him, and she's like trying to get back up and is about to like drown. And Crosshair, easy.
It's AZ.
Yeah. AZ?
AZ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she says AZ.
Oh, but she says it with that like New Zealand accent. So
easy.
yeah, exactly. So it sounds like easy. But and then Crosshair, who the Bad Batch saved, he shoots his like grappling hook thing and saves Omega. And then they're all like they're trying to leave, and Crosshair decides not to go with them.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I think it was pretty I saw a lot of criticisms online of the series finale, and for once I actually kind of agree with some of the takes. It was an underwhelming season finale, and they shouldn't have split it into 2 parts, which I also thought was kind of weird. They should have just done 1 episode and made it longer, so I thought that was kind of weird, but it was a little underwhelming, and they are doing a second season, so I guess that's its saving grace. It would have been a lot worse if this was the season finale for a one-off. One season, yeah. That would have been really weird.
It's definitely one of those things, like, if you look back at, like, the season 1 finale for Rebels, where, like, nothing really happened in the season 1 finale. And, like, I think there's some Clone Wars seasons that not much happened on the season finale. So it, like, isolated on its own, it's like, man, like, I wish they would have done something else. But I think when we go back through in however many years and rewatch it,
well, and it would have been good if there was like some serious character development or something like that in the last episode. I think it probably would have been its saving grace, but there kind of wasn't. Like, Echo got 4 lines total
in the finale.
He talked 4 times for like a total of 8 seconds. And he's one of my favorite. He's probably my personal favorite because he came from the Clone Wars, and I like him a lot. And that was pretty weird. Like, same thing with Tech. He had more lines, but again, it's not a lot of character development between those guys. Wrecker, sort of the same thing. We've seen other character development from him earlier in the season, and then Crosshair, we did get some character development,
but he didn't change. I feel like the only clone that really changed that much was Hunter.
Yeah.
Right? He definitely had an arc throughout the season, but everyone else, it seemed like we're kind of...
Yeah. And I guess that's my criticism, is it's like, I don't mind when nothing really big happens, especially when there's a second season coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of weird when you have nothing really big happening, and it just feels like they complete sort of a menial task like they've done in the other episodes. Though those episodes were interesting to watch, and it felt like Clone Wars, it seems like this episode seemed like you could have placed these last 2 episodes in the middle of the season, and they would have fit in just fine. Yeah. Whereas I think with any series, you need to have a good opener and like a good end. And I don't know if it really got there for me.
Oh, Yeah, I definitely. Hopefully the second season's better, and maybe it'll
I think it will be.
tie into some other stuff a little
And
bit
we
better.
didn't learn anything else about Omega, which was weird. We learned nothing else.
Yeah, I feel like because we ended off with. Wait, what? Because we ended off with the Kaminoan scientist
That was cool.
on like the mountain base.
Imagine if this connects to like what we've seen in The Mandalorian with those Kaminoan like research. The guy in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think it's going to.
That could be pretty cool.
That's the only thing that really makes sense.
Or we see like some other connections to Rebels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I bet we could.
Cool. I bet we will.
Maybe. Ooh, you know who we could see?
Who?
Thrawn. I bet we see
Thrawn.
I bet we see Thrawn because if he would fit in this is exactly almost where Rebels is taking place. We could see Thrawn.
No.
Yeah, it's like 10 years before.
So not.
Wait, maybe even
Rebels is. It's like 20 years, right?
So let's look at the timeline.
Because Rebels is right before the original trilogy, and this is right after the prequels.
So, Star Wars Rebels 5 BBY to 1 BBY.
Yeah.
How many years after Clone Wars is Rebels?
It's a ways,
14
right?
14 years.
14.
Yeah. So we could see him. He's in with the Empire by now.
Well, it depends, I guess, because legends-wise, I think he is. But yeah, that'd be cool for sure. So overall, a little bit underwhelming for the series, but I enjoyed it. Like, it was fun to watch. Not something that I was staying up till 1 a.m. to watch like some of the other shows.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we got episodes like that with The Mandalorian too. We never got a season finale that was quite so underwhelming, but I don't know. That was fine.
Other thing that came out recently. What If?
What If?
What If?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You've seen the first episode,
yes,
right? We haven't talked about that.
Oh, we haven't talked about the first episode?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Positive.
So, Peggy Carter. What if Peggy Carter
was Captain America?
People were saying that this episode, like the reviewers, the people that got inside access, were saying this episode, not nearly as good as the next two.
Yeah, because they got to see the first three, and yeah,
seems like that's quite often with Marvel series so far.
Is that the first episode's not as good?
First episode's not quite as good as like the next two after that. Think of WandaVision.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess WandaVision, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The second and third episodes were both way better.
The first episode of Loki was really good.
First episode of Loki was pretty good. Yeah. Anyways, what if Peggy Carter was Captain America? It was pretty cool. I mean,
yeah.
I guess that's all I really have to say about it.
It was basically just a retelling of like Captain America's first Avenger, and I think where like my favorite parts were the parts where they like diverged quite a bit, like with Steve and the Hydra Stomper, and like that big like alien thing, like that was cool. And you haven't seen the second episode of What If. I have, and I think I definitely liked it better than the first one because of that. Like it wasn't just because I think, do you know the premise of the second episode? It's like, what if T'Challa was Star-Lord?
Really?
Yeah. Like, what if instead of grabbing Peter Quill when the Ravagers came to Earth, they grabbed T'Challa? And it doesn't just retell like Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's pretty interesting.
It's voiced by
Chadwick Boseman, yeah. His last stuff that will be coming out is in this series, and I think there's more than just this episode. Like I think Black Panther's in some other episodes, but yeah, so that's part of it too. But this episode's like primarily focused on him. It's pretty good, pretty interesting.
That's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah. I as you know, I'm watching Clone Wars for the third time. third time over. And I think after you watch something, after the second time, it's like you are so familiar with the episodes that like watching it the third time, you really start to like, you can really notice some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with like the knowledge of all the stuff that's been happening as of late with Disney, like all the stuff that we saw in Rebels, all the stuff that we've seen in The Mandalorian, in Bad Batch. It's cool. Like it almost seems like there's foreshadowing even in Clone Wars of the stuff.
Do you think Dave Filoni was like that?
He
thinking
has
that
to.
far
I
ahead?
sent you. I don't know if you remember, but like a month or two ago, I sent you this specific scene at the end of an episode where there's like a separatist sort of what's the right word it's I know exactly the episode. So do you know that episode where they're fighting that big dragon thing?
Yeah.
It's called the Zillo Beast.
Yeah.
You remember
Zillo
that?
Beast, yeah.
At the end of that episode, Chancellor Palpatine like makes a sly remark about like cloning facilities that he knows of.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not talking about the Kaminoan ones.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's deliberate foreshadowing, and there's like deliberate like quips or small scenes where it's like, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, if anybody could do that with Star Wars, I think it's probably Dave Filoni, that he just had the foresight to put that out there.
Yeah. I hope, dude, we're only 6 months away from Obi-Wan, right?
We don't know yet.
I thought it was spring 2022.
Yeah, but we don't quite know. It'll be next year for sure, but it could be like, I think Andor was technically supposed to come before it, but Andor hasn't finished filming yet. And Obi-Wan has, and Obi-Wan is only 6 episodes, and Andor is going to be 12. So who knows? But yeah, it'll be, because we're like 4 months out now from Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should get probably Andor and Kenobi pretty soon next year. Maybe a second season of Bad Batch. Do you think they'll be just a year apart?
Yeah, probably.
That, let alone, I think we're still supposed to get, and that's just Star Wars, we're still supposed to get some Marvel shows this year. Like, I think Hawkeye is supposed to be this year still.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know who I think we have to see at least one more time in live action?
Who?
Maul.
That would be sick. We gotta see it in, no.
You would maybe in like Obi-Wan as like a, I don't know. I could see something weird happening with Obi-Wan, or even Bad Batch. Like we see him in Bad Batch.
But that's not live action.
Yeah, right. But I feel like Dave Filoni likes Darth Maul too much to just have him
be there again.
Yeah, to never have him be there again, or like it's, dude, I don't know if you,
or the Ahsoka show. Do you think we could get that?
He's already dead by then, right?
But could you get like a flashback or something?
Maybe.
Like talking about like how she's not quite dark, not quite light. Flashback to like something with Darth Maul.
How cool is that gonna be, dude? The Ahsoka show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, we'll have. I don't know. Is that supposed to come out next year too?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Next year is gonna be Danko mode for Star Wars.
And
like not even compared to this year. Like next year is gonna be crazy.
And then you close out with Mando 3.
Yeah, dude. They're gonna retake Mandalore. It's gonna be crazy.
Sweet. Yeah. And
there's still that one series that we don't know about yet, that Disney hasn't, because they unveiled all those series, but they didn't. They said they're coming out with a certain number, and they only unveiled a certain number, but it wasn't that number.
That might have been like kind of some scuffed sleuthing. Like,
oh, you're the one that told me that. So
yeah,
I was just retelling what you told me.
I feel like that might have been like they were referring to like the movies too as series or something, and like just the number was off, but I don't know.
We also got coming up, Taika is directing a High Republic movie.
Kevin Feige's producing a movie.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, with the writer on it's the writer, like the head writer for Loki.
No shot.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder where it's gonna take place.
I don't know. We have no
Probably
idea yet.
non-canon or what?
I bet it'll be canon. I bet it could be like somewhere like way in the past or something.
You know what we haven't talked about yet? The
What?
new Star Wars anime shows.
Visions, yeah, they just
Yeah.
released the trailer. That looks sick. That's all not canon, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, and I was telling you this, but Disney went to the studio heads and offered them like no guidance and like no, they
They
said
just said do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
That's sick.
So it should be pretty cool what they come up with. Some episodes do look better than others, but dude, the art style with some of them looks so
Way cool.
dude.
Yeah, I'm excited for that because that'll come out next year too. No, that's this year. It comes out this year, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's
End
later
of
this
year?
year. Yeah, like it might even be the end of September.
Really?
So like really soon.
That's gonna be sick,
Yeah.
dude.
So that'll be fun, and then you don't get all the like tryhards that are mad about canon
Yeah.
and stuff.
Dude,
'cause-
that's why they just need to release an episode with Star Destroyer, just a non-canon
Star Killer.
Or sorry, what did I say?
Star Destroyer.
That's a ship. An episode with Star Killer and just a movie, a non-canon movie, and just do whatever you want.
That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be insane. That'd be so
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
All right, well,
Call this one maybe.
CTS PC PEP 26.